Hi there guys. Today I'll be going through auxiliary projections. So the best way to describe an auxiliary projection to start off with is I have here a cube. It's one of those fidget switch that you see around. You can press these buttons, to help with anxiety and stuff like that while you're waiting or whatever. But the basic formation is a cube. That means that all the sides are equal. So the distance here, the dimensions here, let me just use my pencil for reference, right around here, they are equal to the same on this side. So let's assume that these are 30 millimeters, this would also be 30 millimeters, and all of these squares would be 30 millimeters. So what we are going to do today is we are going to attempt to draw this at 30-degree rotation. See right here? Of course, without the different bumps here and these buttons, just drawing it purely. Okay. So that's set up. So my sheet is right here, and I'm going to be using a 4H pencil for this, and a 2B pencil to darken when I've actually established my object. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up my center line. Here, divide my sheet. Yeah. And then I'm also going to divide it horizontally. I think I'm just going to give that space in there. So right now I have my axes set up, and each drawing is going to be spaced out 1 centimeter away from these axis points here. So let me just measure away my 1 centimeter margin on every side, so that I would do this once and for all. Let me just keep the cube right here close by so that people would see and would be able to, visualize how this is going to be done. Okay, one of the things about auxiliary projections is that you would have to have a knowledge of orthographic projections, how to lay out drawings in a two-dimensional form, meaning the plan either at the top or the plan at the bottom. So say if the plan is at the top and the two elevations are at the bottom, that would be first angle projection. If the plan is at the bottom and the two elevations at the top, that would be a third angle projection. But having a knowledge of this is very helpful at this stage. So if you guys want to just brush up on your on your orthographic projection skills, or just learn orthographic projection as a whole, you can check out one of my videos there on how to create an orthographic projection. Cool. So getting back to this now, our cube is 30 centimeters, which is also 30 millimeters, which is also 3 centimeters. So we have our lines, and these are our boundary lines here. Nothing is going to go into this square here. Okay, so let's start to put that. But remember, this isn't going to just be plain on the paper. This is going to be rotated at 30 degrees. So the best thing to do is to start to place it in as an elevation at 30 degrees right now onto the sheet. Alright? So I'm just going to draw my 30-degree line, and I'm going to do that with my 60-30 set square. So that's my 30-degree line there, and this is going to be my base right here. So I'm now going to start my construction of my cube at this angle. What I'm going to do is, to make this very easy for myself, I'm going to measure out 3 centimeters with my compass, and let my compass just guide me throughout this process. So the first point I'm going to stick right here at the intersection, and I'm going to make an arc. So I know somewhere around here is where I need to project 30 centimeters, sorry, 30 millimeters in this direction, right? What I'm seeing right here before I even continue the drawing is that at this stage I am going to run into my axis line, and I don't want anything running into the margin, so I'm just going to erase this and relocate, right? I think the best thing to do is to start with the 30 at the top, so that I actually first deal with the space at the top and then work down. Right, so I know first thing that my cube is not going to go past this point here, and that's a good thing. So let me just put in my boundaries. Look at that. You have half the job done. Right, so there is my cube of 30 millimeters by 30 millimeters. Like I said, it's a cube, so that means all the sides are equal. And this angle was done at 30 degrees. So I hope you guys aren't getting confused. 30 degrees angle that is rotated, 30 millimeters dimensions. Alright. So now that we have that, which is our first elevation, that gives us a clue. Our elevations are, sorry, our plan is here. This is our plan. My mistake. That means if our plan is here, we are drawing a third angle projection. That means that the two elevations would be up here if we were doing orthographic projection, but we're not doing orthographic projection per se, but we have to set up the first two drawings that we are going to use to project the auxiliary, like if we were doing orthographic projection. So what I'm doing right now, I'm going to extend my lines from my actual corners, but before I go any further, let me just identify these corners and give them a name. So this point here, we call this A, and this next point here, let's go back to this, our cube, and recognize that A has a point here at the top, and then B is going to have a point here at the bottom. But if we look at it in plan, we're not really going to see B, you know, because A and B are going to share the same points when we look down in plan. So let me just put B here. I hope you guys understood that. And let's go around. A, B, C, D, and then let's call this A1, B1, C1, and D1. I hope you guys understand that. So now I'm going to project all these points up. But seeing these 8 points share, well, 2 points, two letters share 1 point, I'm only going to be projecting 4 lines up. So I've started already with the CD line. Now I'm going to go to the CD1 line, the AB1. Some people say AB prime. When you see that 1 next to the A and the B, slightly raised. And then this is the A and B by itself. And that line has just gone through the axis. So now what we have here, we have the plan. Let me just label plan of our cube, our construction lines going up into the next frame where we would place our elevation, and then we will start to look at the auxiliary projection. Okay, So I hope you guys are following me here. I'm going to take this time to just darken the axis points now so that you guys following can see the benefit of having these axis points. So this here is our X and our Y axis, and well, we're not going to be using this axis right now. If we were doing orthographic, we would be. I'm just setting it up nevertheless. Okay, so now let's get to the height of this thing here. The height of this thing here obviously would be 30 millimeters because everything is done at 30 millimeters. So that was a given, nothing too hard there to guess. I've just come here where we're going to start our 0, and up here is where our 30 millimeters will end. Remembering, guys, we're always leaving 1 centimeter margin away from our axis line, our axis X and Y. Okay, so everything is projected up, and these form new points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 points are seen here in the elevation. So let's get back here. So we have an A and a B. So we have B here. We have A prime, sorry, and we have B prime. So on this one we would get A prime, and on that one we would get B, right? Because the B is down here. That's where it's taken from. Sorry, the B prime. And on this one we will get A at the top, and then we will get just pure B at the bottom. And you guys can probably see how the pattern is going. C prime will come here at the top, and then D prime at the bottom, and then we will have C here at the top, and then D at the bottom here. So these are our 8 points position on the elevation. This is our front elevation. Let me just label that now. So guys, our final step now is to combine the plan view and the front elevation to create an auxiliary projection. Okay, so we are going to create our auxiliary projection using 45 degrees, using a 45-degree set square. So let's just place that here. Now I'm going to erase these lines here because we don't need them, and this will give me enough space to get my auxiliary projection in this area so that it wouldn't go out of focus, because that's my main concern, right? So let me just put back what this line here is. This line here is our X and Y. I'm just placing the Y there so you guys can see. So now I need to place in my 45-degree line, and this line would now be our X and Y prime line. So you're probably wondering how we get an X and Y prime line all of a sudden. Well, the auxiliary projection is cast at an angle, and seeing how we have our X and Y line here now, we need to rotate this X and Y line, and we form our X and Y prime line. So let me just put that in, and this is where we will use this line to create our auxiliary view. So what elements do we need from each drawing? Well, the first thing is we need to project the lines from the front elevation through the X and Y prime line at 90 degrees. They must hit the X and Y prime line at 90 degrees to make a direct perpendicular cut, right? Which means that 90 degrees would hit right here, would form once these construction lines come through the X and Y prime line. So let's start off with our A prime, and I'm just going to lightly pull these construction lines through, and then I'm going to go down to my B prime line. Guys, this order doesn't have to be You don't have to follow me in this order, but at the end you must get a series. You must get 8 lines going through your x and y prime axis. Good. So that's that. And an easy thing to do, or what is a good thing to do, is to try to locate, try to identify the lines, because this line here is the C line. So let's just put C next to this line, and this one is the C prime line. I'm just identifying these lines, which will be easier when I come to putting in my points. My A prime, this is my D prime, this is my B, and this is my B prime. So now all my construction lines are in. So I'm done with this part now. Remember, I first started off by saying to construct this auxiliary we are going to combine the front elevation and the plan view. So what did I take from the front elevation? I projected my lines through the x and y axis, and now I'm going to get my location of my points from my plan. So let's see, how do we do that? So let's start off with A. So for this one I'm going to go A, B, C, D, so it's easier for you guys in some sort of order, right? So the first thing, let me just locate where is A on my plan. A is right here. Hope you guys can see that. Yeah, good. So I'm going to come right here to the X and Y line. I'm going to reference everything from off this X and Y line, right? And I must locate A, and it must always be perpendicular to the X and Y line. So that means I'm going to trace this construction point right here, and bam. This is where I'm going to start, and I'm going to open my compass till it hovers over A, and that's how I know I've located A. Now I'm going to transfer this distance over to my X and Y prime, and I'm going to locate A on the X and Y prime line. So I'm coming here and I'm looking, I found A. So I'm going to stop A there, and I'm going to mark him in. So A is marked in on my X and Y prime axis. So that's A. So let's look for B, and I'm going to repeat this process. Now, the good thing about this is A and B share the same point. Alright? So I'm just going to come here to B, because A and B are actually located at the same point. They all share the same line. So I'm going to pick that up here. But however, on my X and Y axis, my X and Y prime axis, I have to find B separate, because each point is individual here. So I found the B. I'm going to stop that there, and that's it. So that's my B. So I'm just going to repeat this process, like I said, right through till we get all A in. So now I'm going to go to C. So C is here. It's located right here. At this point, I'm going to stab it, hover over it directly. I've located C off the X and Y axis. Now come over to the X and Y prime axis and transfer this information. So I'm looking for C. I found C. Again, you don't have to do this in any order, A, B, C. Do it however it suits you, but at the end, you must transfer all the points from the X and from the plan over to the auxiliary projection. So where am I? I'm at C, and I'm just going to go along the line, and I'm going to go to D. Now again, C and D share the same point, so just go over to D, and I put in D. So that's where my D would be. Okay, now we have done A, B, C, D. We need to do them again in their inverse. Right, so let's start with A prime, which is A prime, sorry, not inverse, in there, prime. So A prime is here, and I come over to A prime. Where do I place A prime? For those of you wondering, why did we have A prime and B prime? In other words, we could have continued with the lettering sequence, and we could have gone A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. But I just decided to use A prime, saying that we have 4 sets of characters A, B, C, and D to make it the square, and saying that this cube is basically 1, 2, 3, 4. All the sides are squares, so I just decided to make it easier to identify the points. But again, the lettering is totally up to you. And I am here. Where am I now again? Let's go back to that. So I have in, you can never lose yourself here, because I have in A, B, C, D. I've done A prime, and I'm putting in B prime. So let's go to that. And B prime goes in here. So now I go to C and D prime, which are the last 2. So I've got that location there, C prime and D prime. Alright. Now, I think we are ready to plot this cube. Let me just bring this cube back into focus, our demonstration. And let me start to plot this. So first I'm going to plot it with my construction pencil, which is a 4H, and then once I'm satisfied with it, I'm then going to outline it with a darker pencil. So I'm going to go in the order A, B, and then A will also go to C, B will go to D, and C and C and D connect to form the first square here. I hope you guys are seeing this square, and then I'm going to connect another square. So as I do this, this will then make sense to those watching. I want to thank you guys for following me through this process, and this also is something that I would encourage to practice a couple times. You know, remember the steps. You might even have to stop and write down these steps so you can call to mind this process easy. Whatever you do, the first thing is you got to practice. You got to do it over and over. So this is our cube here. Now, okay, so I'm going to darken this so that you guys can see it better. This is called auxiliary projection. And let me just recap. What did I do? I created the plan view done at 30 degrees. And our dimensions for this cube is 30 by 30. Obviously 30 millimeters or 3 centimeters. Then what I did after I created my plan view, I created my front elevation directly above my plan view in orthographic style. Then from there, I projected my lines from my front elevation through an X and Y prime line cut at 45 degrees. Projected all my lines, and then I referenced the locations from my plan. Plan below, front elevation above. Seeing that I'm darkening, I'm just going to darken all of my elevations at this time too, so that you can see everything. Hope you guys learned something from this, and feel free to leave any comments and share and subscribe. So this is it. This is what an auxiliary an auxiliary projection looks like, and it's all finished.